Hey everybody, I am out here at George's Creek with the missus today. We're taking a little stroll and just looking around and seeing what kind of natural native type plants we can spot out here, see if there's anything worth collecting up and taking back, putting in the yard. And we found a few things so far, but right now I just wanted to stop and have a look at this azalea that we found growing back here. The sun's shining on it and it looks absolutely gorgeous. So we've seen some families of geese. Probably try to get a little video of them just because they were absolutely adorable with their little goslings. That is the trail we have come from. And that's where we're heading. So I'm going to go join the missus and I will see you down around the bend. Alright, we are just a little further down the trail. This is a little spot that I like to stop at and have a little break, look around. It's really pretty and scenic here. And today we actually have loads and loads of tadpoles. This actually isn't very many at all compared to what it's going to be like as the springtime wears on, but this is the first bit of tadpoles I've seen so far this year. I've collected them up in the past and taken them home to see whether or not they would survive in my tanks for very long and see if I could get them to develop into a frog. And so far in my fish tanks, they get gobbled up so fast your head will spin. So maybe someday I'll try putting them in a tub if I ever do a summer tub or something like that, and we'll see if we can't get some frogs to develop from some tadpoles. That would be a fun little thing to do. So anyway, we're gonna keep on making our way around. Again, we're just sort of taking a break here by the water side. This area is not much to look at the moment, but midsummer it is surrounded by a type of plant called Joe Pieweed, and it puts out a flower spike that's about 8 feet tall, and it's covered with butterflies and bees and moths and all kinds of stuff. Really pretty flower. So we'll be looking forward to seeing some of that here in a couple of weeks. So, all right, everybody, we're going to keep on making our way downstream around the bend, and if we see anything else interesting, I will see you for that. Now, here's a good example of the kind of thing we're out here looking for today. If you can see all this fern, it looks like cinnamon fern. I don't know if that's native around here. I don't know if it's actually cinnamon fern. I don't know if it's something that just sort of made its way out into the woods. It's not uncommon to find people's garden type plants that get thrown out here or get washed downstream. So I'm not sure about this fern, but I think we're going to collect a little bit of that up on the way home. And then right up the trail here, we're going to have a little walk. Bear with me with the bouncing. But up around the bend, I found another plant that looks remarkably like a plant that a lot of my customers grow. I don't know what it's called, and I don't even honestly know if this is really what it is, but it's a pretty plant, and I think we're going to wind up digging up a little bit of this, taking it with us. And that is this stuff here with this purple flower on it. Again, I'm not sure what this is, but it's a really cool looking plant. And I think that would look nice back in one of our more wooded sort of beds. We're also going to collect up some mayapple. We don't have any large specimens nearby, but there's tons and tons of mayapple out here, so we're going to get some of that. And there's a few other things we found along the way before I started shooting video that we're going to get on the way back out. Not least of which is some Columbine. So I'm going to go catch up to the missus again, and I will see you up around the bend. Alright everybody, no plants here, but this is just too pretty and scenic not to stop and have a little bit of a look around. If you can see up there, kind of through the trees, right around here where the river goes around the bend, that is where we stopped and we were looking at the tadpoles. So we've made our way downstream a little ways. The trail goes up and off and into the woods and around, and we've walked quite a lot further than we're looking at the moment. But that's the whole point of being out here. It's such a pretty day. And right there you will see another azalea in full bloom. So that's a bonus. So I've just taken a little step off of the main trail to get a little better view of the water. And now I will be making my way back up and heading on back downstream. So we'll see if we don't see anything more interesting. I've already seen a bunch of crows chasing an osprey, and as I've mentioned, we've got families of geese out here with their little goslings swimming around, so pretty soon we should be able to get a look at some of that. So sit tight, I'll see you down around the bend. Alright everybody, we didn't even have to move. I turned around and there are the geese right behind us. So you may have actually seen them when we were looking at those azalea a few minutes ago, and I did not even notice. And if you will look behind those geese on the other shoreline, there's another azalea in bloom back there. So that is just one family, a few little goslings there. Mommy and daddy, of course. And as we walk down further around the bend, it's an area where I know for a fact that the geese tend to nest. So it's very likely that we're going to run into some more families of them, and we'll get a little closer view than that. But there you go, that's the first look at our little family of geese. So sit tight, I'll see you around the bend. Okay, now I know I kept talking them up, but I did not see any geese at all once we got down here into the area where they usually nest. But there are a few turtles out in the water. In fact, I can see one sitting on that log right there. Not sure if that's coming out on video. It's a little thing. But the real reason we stopped here is we have actually spotted another really interesting plant. It's growing on the side of that rock right there. It's going to be a little challenging to get down to it, but it almost looks like a coral bell. And we've already got a lot of coral bells in the garden already, so we will do our best to get down there and see if we can get a closer look at it. See whether or not that really is a coral bell. So sit tight, let me get down there and we'll get a closer look. Alright, that wasn't as challenging as I thought it was going to be. That really does look like coral bell though, so I am going to go ahead and collect that. And I'm going to get it while I'm down here. No sense in walking on and then coming back and collecting it on our way back. So far we've just been making notes of where everything is, and we're going to collect everything up on the way back. So we're going to go ahead and get this now, and then we will continue on our way. So I'll see you when we find something else interesting. So this is the scenic making point I was heading towards. Get a nice good view of the water. Naturally, the cormorants that were out in the water flew away when we walked up. And we saw a blue heron fly by, so we didn't get that on video either. We're seeing all kind of wildlife out here today, and I've even gotten a little bit of it on video. So our making point is ultimately going to be that little point of rocks out there. That's where we're going to turn around and start heading back. But again, this is just a nice little sort of scenic overlook, and I wanted to stop here as we continue on down. So that's our trail. We're going to continue on, and I will probably see you out on that point of rocks unless we see something interesting along the way. And about 10 feet down the trail from where we just stopped, I actually stepped right over this, did not even see it. Of course, I was also looking out at a cormorant in the water. My wife alerted me to the presence, but it's just a little garter snake, completely harmless. I think it's funny how he keeps rising up to strike at me. And its tail has been chewed off too, so something's already got a hold of this. It was probably just lying out in the sun trying to warm up for the day. So I'm going to leave it be. I'm not in the habit of harassing animals, and you can tell I'm really irritating it, so we're going to move along. Alright everybody, I'll see you in a minute. Alright everybody, I have no idea what these are, and I don't think we're actually going to take any home, but they are such a pretty little flower. I wanted to at least stop and get them on video. I don't recall ever seeing these before. They got a bright yellow center with yellow petals. And they are just as cheerful as can be. And we got some kind of carp or fish or something splashing around right next to us, distracting me. So we're going to keep making our way down around the bend. We're almost to our turnaround point. I'm going to stop and have a little bit of a look out over the water once we get to a little bit more of a clearing. But we are to a scenic turnaround point here very soon. So sit tight and I'll see you down around the bend. Alright everybody, end of the line. We have finally made it around to our rocky point to turn around, and it's always pretty and scenic out here. I can hear a woodpecker off in the distance, been drumming all morning. Instead of actually going down the large rocky steps right there, we're going to take the smoother path here. I will bounce the camera around a lot less for you. So this is about as far as I can come, and where we stopped last is right over there. So that gives you an idea of perspective of where we were looking. We've walked on around. I really wish I could convey how good and flowery and amazingly springtime it smells out here. You can see how beautiful it is. So that's it. We're going to start heading back, and again we are going to stop and collect up several plants on the way back, so we will have a look at those. So sit tight and I will see you once again up around the bend. Alright, we are almost back to the trailhead where we parked, but we're going to stop and collect up one more plant we saw on the way down here, and this was by far the best discovery we've made so far today. I've already collected up a mayapple. It gets one single little flower on it, very pretty little plant. I hope I got enough of the tuber there to make it survive, but you can see there's tons of them out here, so if it doesn't, I can always collect them up again. But this was the bonus score of the day. We found Columbine, a really pretty red and yellow Columbine growing in the cracks of this rock here. And so I'm definitely going to do my best to collect that out of there, first of all without getting the poison ivy that is pretty much growing next to it, and without damaging the root system. Hopefully we'll get it out of there intact, and if not, we'll do what we can do. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and collect that, then we're going to keep walking on up the trail. We got one more thing we're going to stop and get on the way out of here. It is not as exciting as that Columbine, but it is one more thing, so sit tight and I will see you up around the bend. All right, and this is our final destination on the way back to the truck. Don't know if you can see what we're looking at just yet. It's not the daylily, but it is this crazy looking fern stuff. I'm not exactly sure what species of fern it is. I'm almost positive it's a fern though. I mean, I don't know what else that could possibly be, but it's not a fern tree. There is a type of fern that is a fern tree, but this just has a really long tall stalk with, it almost looks like hay fern at the top, but has that crazy long stalk on it. And you can see there's tons of it all through here once you get your eye in and you know what you're looking at. So I've dug this up before and taken it home, and it never really took off. So I don't know if we're not planting it in the right conditions. We're right here by the waterside. You can see how kind of sunny it is at the moment. Maybe this needs more sun than my yard allows for. I don't know. But this is going to be our last score, and then we are going to start heading on back up to the truck. So I should also point out there's tons of stuff out here that we never even bothered to consider that would still be really interesting, but it's stuff we already have in the yard. You can see all the daylilies out here. We've passed several baby dogwood specimens. There's just all kinds of little trees and shrubs and bushes that grow out here naturally that we could just collect up. But again, we have such a sort of naturalized yard that we've got a lot of that stuff already. This is one. We're going to walk over here one moment, and then we're going to wrap the video up there. I don't know what this plant is called, and we've actually seen a few of them flowering, and it's kind of a letdown flower. There's not a lot going on with the flower, but it's a really interesting foliage on the plant. So I'm considering whether or not to dig up some of that. It's very similar to Solomon seal, but not quite. Not entirely sure what it is, but again, it's just a really pretty plant, pretty specimen. So, all right, everybody, gonna call it good right there. I'm gonna head on back up to the truck, And I will see you for the next one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.